Hey everyone, this is Josh back with Fight Bad Medicine. I'm here to teach you today how to fight osteoporosis naturally. Let's get into it. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and share so you can support this channel and we can keep making videos just like this for everyone. All right, let's get started today. So the first thing we want to talk about with osteoporosis is nutrition. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm going to talk about calcium first. Well, actually, I'm going to talk to you about overall nutrition and keeping things alkaline. The reason being is when we are in an acidic state, we are going to rip away bone. The body's going to do whatever it needs to do in order to stay alkaline. So we need to actually consume lots of vegetables, lots of fruits that contain natural sodium. And that sodium will actually balance that acid in the body and keep it alkaline. If it doesn't, it goes on to the next thing, which is our calcium. And where is it going to get it? The bone. It's going to start to eat away at bone. So we want to keep our body more of an alkaline state with eating lots of fruits and vegetables. But the next thing I'm going to talk about is minerals. Now, calcium is a big one. Absolutely. Calcium is totally necessary. It doesn't have to be from dairy products solely. Maybe a couple times a week, but I wouldn't go beyond that. There's a lot of consequences with dairy, and there's people that don't do well with dairy at all. I would say, first of all, maybe try doing the A2 casein dairy. That works a lot better with our system. But lots of vegetables contain calcium. A lot of the green leafy vegetables, like kale and Swiss chard and collard greens, they all contain lots of calcium. Another one is sesame seeds. So actually eating tahini or sesame seed butter is very high in calcium. And lots of nuts and seeds actually have a lot of calcium. So there are a lot of other foods that contain calcium besides dairy. But calcium is not the only thing we have to think about when it comes to nutrients. We have to get the calcium into the bone. If we just take calcium, it's going to float around in the blood, and then it can get into the urine, cause kidney stones, but actually being in the blood is very dangerous because it starts to cause arterial calcification. You want to consume things that are very high in magnesium, which again are a lot of the green leafy vegetables. But we have things like legumes, which are also very high in magnesium. There are a lot, we want to get a full array of minerals. Seaweed is another one, and seaweed contains calcium, magnesium, iodine even. So iodine is also another important mineral when it comes to building bone. So we got magnesium, but we also want to take a supplement called vitamin K2 with D. Now, we know about vitamin D. Vitamin D helps reabsorb calcium, but vitamin K2 puts the calcium into the bone. Again, we want to make sure that the calcium goes into the bone. It's not floating around the arteries. So it's very important to offset the calcium with magnesium, offset the vitamin D with K2. So we want to get calcium. We want to reabsorb our calcium with vitamin D, but we need to make sure it gets into the right place. And that's with magnesium, that's with vitamin K2. And there's great supplements out there. One that I really like is actually called Pro Bono. It's a multivitamin. It's got lots of vitamins and minerals that help support bone. It's also got another mineral called strontium, which helps build bone. It's got boron, another important mineral to build bone. So that's kind of like my go-to first. If someone's not taking a multi and it has osteopenia or osteoporosis, I'll go with Pro Bono to help prevent it from getting worse. That it's just a nice multi with a nice array of vitamins and minerals that help support bone. Next, we have to talk about lifestyle. So with lifestyle, you want to be doing weight-bearing exercises. The more weight you put on your bone, the thicker it can get, even later in life. So lifting weights, even if you're older and it's tough to lift heavy weights, even light weights, just putting some pressure on the bone is going to help rebuild that bone. Another recommendation is a vibration plate. So there's people that have a hard time walking, hard time lifting weights. Just getting onto a vibration plate, putting your feet on a vibration plate, it'll cause this muscle twitching, and it'll actually cause the bone to want to thicken. That's what we want. Another thing that's a major issue as we get older is hormones. So with women especially, that's where most of osteoporosis and osteopenia is seen, is with decrease in hormones. So you definitely want to work with your practitioner to get your hormones balanced. Some women do need, estrogen and progesterone later in life. Estrogen causes osteoblast activity, which helps build the bone, while progesterone helps inhibit osteoclastic activity. So it stops the breakdown of bone. So you actually need those. That's why you see osteoporosis and osteopenia later in life, not so much, before the age of 50. If you do, we actually look at the absorption of the gut. That's the next thing. And that's where, looking for celiac disease might be an appropriate thing, because if you're not absorbing through the gut, the most extreme case would be like celiac disease. You're not going to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins like your vitamin D, like your vitamin K. And those are much needed to build bone. Without those, you can forget about building bone. So you actually start to see something called osteomalacia, where the bone starts to soften. But even in just general cases of leaky gut where you're not absorbing properly, you're also not going to absorb the nutrients, which we've spoken about before, and that can also lead to bone breakdown and bone softening. So you want to make sure that, again, right nutrients, you want to get absorption of those nutrients, you want to make sure that you're causing that the bone can build up and stop breaking down. You want to make sure, prevent it from breaking down. So that's eating like more alkaline foods. And you want to do these weight-bearing exercises. And lastly, you want to make sure that you're not too thin later in life. Now, people always want to, look great and they want to look thinner, but it can actually be detrimental to bone density. So you want to make sure that you are at a good weight. More muscle, the better, but you also want to make sure that you're actually at a good weight in order to cause more pressure on the bone. The more pressure you put on the bone, the thicker that it wants to stay. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Let's just sum it up real quick. You want to have an alkaline diet. You want to have a diet full of minerals with calcium, magnesium. You want to get vitamin D, and that you can get through sun, but you also, I recommend through supplements. Food source of vitamin D, mushrooms, salmon with the bones. That's a great food for building bone, is canned salmon, wild-caught canned salmon on the bone. You want to get your K2. You want to make sure that you're absorbing well, so make sure that your gut is in good shape, and you want to make sure that you're doing those weight-bearing exercises and making sure to stay at a good weight. If you want to purchase any supplements from us, you can click the link below, the Fullscript link below, us.fullscript.com/welcome/arc, and you can get the supplements right there. But feel free to contact me if you need help in detail. You can contact me. I'll list the phone number below, 954-888-8335, or you can reach me by email at arcwellnesscenter@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay healthy, guys, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.